Prisoner snatches were well-planned operations, frequently based on intelligence SEALs gathered on their own or through paid informants.
You see, one of the interesting things of the SEAL is he's continually in an intelligence gathering mode, wherever he is. And you learn a lot.
The SEAL point man would recon the area by helicopter to familiarize himself with landmarks around the target objective.
It was always eerie being up in a helicopter because everybody could see you, and you knew it was noisy.
After a mission briefing, the SEAL platoon assembled their operating gear and weapons. To carry out their special operations, special hardware unique to the teams was employed. SEAL armories included the Stoner M63A light machine gun. It was an air-cooled weapon capable of being magazine-fed or belt-fed from either the left or right side. The SEALs like it for its reliability and light weight. It is the weapon most closely associated with SEALs in Vietnam. Tensions ran high as SEALs helped each other prepare for their missions. While his stateside peers painted their faces in the name of love, the SEAL applied his grease paint with a more deadly purpose.
I think the most fear was until you left on the mission. Once you get on the boat gets underway, then you just sort of sit down and start doing what you have to do, and it starts unfolding for you.
Juice is really going good right now. This is the worst time. You're real vulnerable when you're inserting, because you never know what's there. So the tension is really, really great right now.
You're wondering now, is anybody looking at me? And knowing that, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going anyway. See any tripwires? Hope there's no booby traps here.
SEAL patrols frequently traveled inland for many miles. Relying on their point man to keep them on target and out of danger, SEAL teams patrolled close together with weapons pointing alternately in opposite directions to guard against ambush.
You gotta have a guy up there in front that can move like the shadows and be able to pick out unusual or unnatural things in the vegetation that might, be an ambush or whatever.
We'd move hundreds of yards this way sometimes. Sometimes the whole operation would be on our hands and knees.
Few words were spoken during a mission or patrol. SEALs communicated through hand and arm signals. Their stealth and camouflage discipline made them difficult to detect. The knowledge that SEALs could appear from out of the dark, make a snatch, and disappear again struck fear into the enemy. Each SEAL team member had a different task to perform. The patrol leader was responsible for receiving orders, coordinating his mission with any support units, and carrying out the orders. The radio man was responsible for codes and frequencies. The point man's job to get the patrol to and from the mission objective. Another man on patrol was assigned to handle prisoners. The last man on the patrol would protect the unit from rear attack. Although most SEAL operations took place under dense cover, sometimes open terrain had to be crossed. SEALs carefully stepped toe first into the rice paddies to avoid suction, because sound travels a long way in open areas. SEALs walked in each other's footprints to avoid booby traps and to conceal their numbers.
And none of us ever liked going through open rice paddies.
Kind of like running through a schoolyard without no clothes on. You feel real naked. You're unprotected. So you get a little jittery right there. And once you get back in the bush, you get your clothes back on. Don't feel so vulnerable.
Whenever SEALs approached a target, a perimeter was set. In case of enemy activity, they would be protected from the flanks.
Like going in and take a hooch is a real tricky situation, too, because you never know what's behind the doors and walls. Most of the time, it's more or less, bust the door down and hope for the best. And then once leaving a hooch or whatever, after you've cleared it out, you're very vulnerable also because you made your presence known. So it's real sticky getting out. Feel like everybody in the world's known you've been there, so hair raises up a little bit on the way out.
To outfox the VC at their own guerrilla tricks, SEALs used a broad range of ingenuity and gadgets. By using diverse techniques such as grabbing ropes or ladders trailing from low-flying helicopters, snatching a line from a speeding riverboat, or simply fading into the scenery, SEALs were able to elude the enemy after successfully completing a mission. While the kids back home danced to the Beatles and the Stones, in Vietnam, rock and roll took on a different beat.
We kind of related ourselves to a rock band. Lots of times we'd say, you know, just playing in the band. You've got your M60 man who initiates all ambushes or initiates the firefight. He's your bass player. Your lead vocalist is talking to the helicopter, and he's pulling rockets and M60s and sometimes even miniguns. He's pumping them out at them, so you've got 5 guys could take on as many as 150 or 200 and win simply because of the technology. You got your automatic weapons man or your lead guitar cranking it out there. You've got your other members of the band playing, covering their zones, and you've got your vocalist who's on the radio, and he's talking to the chopper, and the chopper's just wreaking havoc. Well, it was usually a concert like they'd never seen before. It was certainly a band of different instruments. It was a hard concert to beat, I'll tell you. Because it was a live audience, and a lot of times we knocked them dead in the aisle.
The Navy SEAL is a Rorschach blot test onto which everyone seems to project their own private fantasies. Seen by many as sort of an unflinching superhero, the Navy SEAL has a mystique that is hard to define. It is said that a SEAL has nerves, he just ignores them.
I think SEALs have a wonderful capability of creating their own mystique. They feel like SEALs, and they act like SEALs, and they fight like SEALs. I think when you see them, there's something about that sets them apart.